the fun part. That's why I want to go on.
Okay, that's nice. Miss Chente, when you're going there, so please call Jacinta so that she come with you. She
Definitely,
shouldn't just scream,
definitely.
Desha. She shouldn't just scream. I don't
Well,
want to hear that she screamed
why
when they are
would I?
pushing the jungler. Okay, so tonight on the show, we're looking at letting go of past relationship in past relationship baggage. Does every past relationship have a baggage of its own? I don't think so. Some are just, it was good while it lasted.
You know, okay. I don't know if you want me to come in here.
Hmm.
I actually love the topic because I think it relates to everyone, one way or the other. When most of the time when anything is past, trust me, it didn't end well, because we go in there assuming, thinking that, oh, I've met my maybe my queen, or I've met my prince, and so we're assuming so much, planning planning things that we didn't even think, would happen. So I would say that most of the time, it just never ends well, and we are scarred, or we are abandoned, and we always take something away from it, one way or the other.
Okay, so I think people just grow, and there's nothing. So it's just like I have friends that we don't do the same thing anymore. No beef, nothing. And now start spending time with people that we get to do things all the time. And not doesn't mean if you call me, do you understand? We've just moved on. We've just grown past certain things. We're not just dealing with the same thing anymore.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
That
So it
happens.
also happens in relationship. I just feel that you might be dating someone, and you just know what, no beef, no quarrel. I just know that, you know what, this is not where I want to be, or this is not going to take me where I want to be. We just move on. Nobody, we know they break up. Everybody just moves on. We'll see after 5 years. I'm like, hey, what's up? What happened? That's when you now start talking about what happened. But everybody has healed. Do you understand? Maybe one person is just, my friend, you do anyhow. I've seen it happen.
Yes, and that's the thing. You just said it, my friend, you did anyhow. So you see, something must have obviously happened, that led to the both of you leaving. Now, it doesn't have to be something, it doesn't have to be you cheated on me. No, it doesn't have to be something dramatic. It could just be, maybe I'm not feeling this guy anymore, or maybe the way he talks to me, I don't really like it. It could just be something as trivial as that. But still, it's something that we don't want anymore, and we want something better for ourselves.
So what's the baggage?
Now, if you look at baggage in what it is itself is obviously when it's rejection, abandonment, shame, all of that, cheating, and that's all the trauma or emotional suicidal things that might have happened in the relationship. That's that baggage. Baggage is like taking these things, this pain, emotional pain, into a new relationship, right? That's what emotional baggage is. That's the idea.
So that's what I'm saying.
So,
Not all relationship have.
but of course, but even if not all relationship has it, some relationship do have it.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I said, really, is it all
Of
relationship?
course,
Not
it's not
all.
all.
Exactly. So that's what I'm trying to say. That
No, it's not
it's
all.
not all. So it's
Yeah,
not every relationship that ends that you now carry a baggage.
of
It's not
course
all.
not.
Exactly. That's what we're
But
saying.
there are very traumatic relationships that people
Some
have
really bad
been
ones.
through, and it
Yes,
scarred them for
I
life.
agree with you, but not all.
Of course, not
Yeah.
all.
Okay. So Chente, what do you have to say?
So I would say that I agree with the both of you, right? And I think that there are some relationships that do not have baggages. Like, I mean, there are cases where maybe your friend leaves the country, and then you guys, or your partner leaves the country, right? And then you guys are not connecting on. Do you understand? Like, you just know that this is not gonna work. It's not necessarily like this person abused you or something happened. It's just that you could not align again. Sometimes it might just be friendship that you could grow out of each other, and that is really, really possible, right? Like, you guys just grow, right? You grow out of each other. Maybe you stop liking the same things. The things that used to bring people together is no more there. Or if it's like a friendship that is like a three group and one person moves away. Do you understand? So I think, right, it doesn't have to be baggage necessarily, But I think that something happened, and that's, and that's why I agree with Jess. So it might not be baggage, but you realize that something happened. But sometimes people just walk out and do not necessarily talk about it because I don't think it's something to talk about, right? Like people just silently just move on and walk out. But something happened. Maybe you guys grew out of each other. That is something that actually happened, right? So instead, because I feel like a lot of us do that, but in doing that, some of the times we get, because the other person may be like, what really happened?
Chente, we lost you. I think we lost Chente. Okay, when he comes back. So just yeah, you were so let's look at it from, so really what are these baggages that people carry, and how does it affect them in their new relationships?
Okay, so before anybody can have any sort of baggage from a relationship, there must have been expectations. Maybe you go into the relationship. I want to look at it from an emotional, romantic point of view now. I know that this could happen even in your office, with your boss, with your colleagues, or even friends. But let's just look at it from, a romantic relationship. So you go into a relationship and maybe you're expecting marriage, or you're not expecting it, or he had said things that, you're thinking that, okay, this will lead to marriage, and then you put in all your efforts, and so much so. And then all of a sudden, this person, starts to abuse you. It could be emotionally, it could be physically, it could even be your self-worth. They could, tamper with how you feel about yourself. Before you know it, you start, questioning, who am I? What is all this for? And then you just see that the way when you got into the relationship and when you're leaving the relationship, there's a lot that has happened. You're not yourself anymore. And this could actually be some sort of baggage, because it has tampered with how you feel about yourself. Okay, let's move this towards the brain. Now, there's something called predictive processing in the brain. Now, when the brain goes through emotional pain, okay, betrayal, whatever it is, it predicts, okay, that it would happen again. You get what I mean? So it tells the body to be ready. So it's more like, this thing happened before. So when you see anything that looks like it already, it's your brain is signaling, telling you that this thing is, oh my God, this thing's about to happen. Okay, let's look at it. Even if you're in a good relationship, a healthy relationship, but when your brain sees those signs that something is about to happen, or is similar to what had happened in the previous relationship, all of a sudden, you get tensed, tightening in the chest, you're anxious, your cortisol levels rise, that's your fear, your anxiety, everything, pops up. Okay, let's look at the situation where you're in a healthy relationship, you're in a healthy relationship, and then you text your partner, and maybe he doesn't respond as quickly as possible, and then your brain could say, your mind could say, maybe he's just busy, but your body will be like, here we go again. That's more like predictive processing. So your brain already knows that past relationships, past experiences has allowed love to feel like love like leads to abandonment, or when you express yourself too much, it leads to conflicts, or maybe when you're vulnerable, it leads to pain. So these are the past experiences and memories that your brain already has in the head. So whenever there's something similar, it automatically signals the body. And then obviously the body signals the nervous system to react in a certain way. These are emotional baggage. This is what it does to in the new relationship, because you're already programmed that this would happen, or this. So your brain is kind of trying to protect you. And you understand this? It's trying to protect you from, not being in that situation anymore. And this is where you see people then, when the relationship is amazing, they don't feel safe in it, because they're just, waiting for something to happen. And then obviously it lingers on, and then it could be destructive, in this new relationship.
Okay, so what happens, because it's the brain, so that means they have no control over what happens, because it's the brain that's kind of informing them. Mm-hmm. And it's not something that is done consciously. Mm-hmm. So it's a subconscious action.
Yes.
Because the brain is the one telling you this. Your brain, even in your subconscious, you're thinking, and then consciously your brain is telling you this is what happened, and then your body is saying, so your whole system is what is working.
Yes.
Right, at that point in time. So how do you now work with it? How do you deal with it?
Okay, so now it's more about being intentional and saying to yourself, okay, I'm in a good place. So when, the brain triggers the body to respond, maybe in a way that is familiar, because the brain it doesn't have to be the truth. The brain just wants to always, the brain wants to get it right. Even if it predicts and there's a mishap, maybe the brain is thinking this way and what is happening is not that way, it tends to then reprogram. And that's where we're coming to where we're talking about you now saying, okay, this has happened before. So you pause and you say to yourself, okay, this has happened before, but this is not what it is. So you actually mention, the anxiety. You mention that which is happening at this point. And then you tell your brain, this is an old, maybe situation, but not in this relationship. So you have to be intentional about...
So let's take it back to the brain.
Yeah.
Because I feel that even you telling yourself is the brain. Different scenarios. I'm telling myself something in 3, 10, sometimes 8 different scenarios. I'm saying, oh, it could be this. So I see something and I'm trying to process. For example, you said, oh, something has happened before. And I'm trying to say, oh, is it about to happen again?
Yes.
So I'm telling myself, it's about to happen. What if this? What if it? So you'll be shocked that at that moment, I'm thinking of 6 things at the same time. That could be happening at the same time. Now, are we saying, what you're trying to say is that at the moment where you're thinking about it, your past experience has more pressure, more effect on what you would think
situation.
on your present, or what you have happened before, you understand, would kind of make you navigate towards a certain option from the 6 I have, or the 6 scenarios, because it has happened before. But at the same time, I could also tell myself, oh, but this person is not the same person.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I could also say, oh, this person is not the same person. As much as I'm coming with a baggage,
Yes.
but I'm also sensible enough to analyze that.
Where I am
is different.
So you need to keep telling yourself.
So we're analyzing those things. I'm analyzing those things at the same time. Because I need to take a decision at that time.
Yes.
It's not something, because it's not something you think about it today, go back. It's at that time you're trying to make a decision. So I'm processing, in trying to make that decision, I'm processing what has happened to me before, what is in my present, you understand, and where I want to go to.
Yes.
And I'm telling myself, and guess what? I have grown from the past relationship too. Things have happened. You understand? Maybe, in fact, there are scenarios where I've had 2 relationships. One was a different thing, one was a different thing. Different scenarios. If you have dated maybe 2 or 3 people. And then you are presented with a situation and you're trying to analyze it, and you say, oh, he's kind to look like Mr. A. Yeah, but Mr. B did this thing and it was not the same, but this is Mr. C. In that time. And it's the same brain. So how are we meant to handle a situation like this? Because you're coming with a lot of baggage. For people who have had several relationships, you're coming with so many, not just 1, not 2, not 3, you understand? And then guess what? It might not even be your personal experience. Sometimes it's not what you have experienced. It could be someone else's. It could be your sister, it could be your friend, it could be your mom. It could be anything. You understand? So are you saying, because when I ask you, say you have to be intentional. So what are you're saying that for you to let go, you have to be intentional to tell yourself that it doesn't have to be this all the time.
Okay, I want to go back a bit and come to this point where we are now. You see, most of the things that we do today, our processing, how we reflect, how we think, how we even, communicate, has to do with the brain, the mind, and aside from sensory, how we feel when you touch, taste and all of that, the brain also takes in memories, takes in information, takes in patterns, stores it up there, and it helps us to predict our future, to reflect, to behave in certain ways. We don't even know these things are happening. Okay, let's look at this example now. Maybe in the past, a dog attacked you, okay? A dog attacked you. Now, going forward, even when you hear a dog barking, even if the dog is behind a gate, right? What happens to you? Automatically, and the thing is that you don't even know it. The brain sends a signal to the body sends it to the nervous system, and it tells you run, anxiety, your heart starts racing, and then you act just in an impulse because of your previous experience. The brain sends a signal to the body sends it to the nervous system, and it tells you run. Just wants to be able to say what you should, this is how you should respond. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
So I understand.
Now,
So yes, I understand what you're trying to say, but I'm also trying to break it down, because sometimes your scenario might not be the exact scenario for someone else.
but of course, it could
Yes.
just be as much as a man or your boyfriend or your girlfriend turning her phone upside down. And maybe in your previous relationship, this was when your boyfriend started cheating on you. Maybe when he started turning his phone upside down, your brain picks it. And then over time, obviously you found out he was cheating and so much more. So now, whenever you see someone turn their phone upside down, automatically you believe he's cheating on me. It could be also the woman as well. So what I'm trying to say, even for you to get to a point to understand that you now have to be intentional in a way whereby you have to reprogram your brain, you have to be at alert to tell it what it should know. Sorry. You have to even get to a point of knowing. Yeah, you have to get to a point of knowing, because a lot of people don't even know that they have baggage in this new relationship. They don't even know they have brought it in, because they're just responding to how they feel. They're responding emotionally all the time, and you know that emotions are not real. Because when emotions are all over the place, your logical brain cannot function well. So you see people reacting, fighting, shouting, thinking, and most of the time they find out that it's wrong. And that's another point. I think I need water. And that's a good thing, because when the brain predicts that he's cheating, when he turns his phone upside down, and then when you finally find out that he's not cheating, do you know that it transmits to the brain differently to say, "Uh-oh, you got it wrong"? It does. So next time when you see someone turn their phone upside down, now then your brain now it does not know what to signal anymore, because now there's a different interpretation.
So no, I think that's now getting complicated, because you know why I say that you think he's turning his phone down, and then you find out he's not cheating. Mm-hmm. And you find out that he wasn't cheating at that time. Do you understand?
Automatically, the brain was at the time and at that point.
At that time, yes, because you're checking. It's not it. It doesn't completely eliminate
because
what you're thinking.
Why? Next time when that happens, you will not 100% think that way.
I don't agree. Let me tell you why I say that. Even when, because you see him turn the phone down, you're assuming.
Of course, predicting.
You're predicting, he's doing that.
Yeah.
And then if you now go further to go check and you don't see anything, trust me, if you actually have a baggage, you will not completely eliminate the fact, I was wrong. You'll be like, sometimes it is, okay, I haven't caught him.
Now, we talked about intentionality. If you're not in a different frame of mind where you're trying to reframe.
Okay, I haven't caught him.
Now, we talked about intentionality. If you're not in a different frame of mind where you're trying to reframe, influencing your new relationship, that's what. When that happened, that wasn't what it was. It helps you to try to dump the baggage that you have.
No, I think seeking help is what helps you.
No, seeking help, of course, seeking help does help you.
Because that one time would not help you.
No, it could be a one time, it could be a 2 time, it could be a 3 time.
Exactly. So,
over time.
Over time, yes, over time. But I also think that it is not, because the truth is, if your mind is telling you something, and it takes, yes, I agree, you have to be intentional, but not just on yourself. You have to do a bit of work to get out of that in the bid to be intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to do a lot of work to get out from that mind frame. You understand? To say, it could be this. It's a lot of work. We make it look easy.
No, it's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's a lot of work.
So it is not, it's not possible, you understand? Because you will now find out sometimes you're having mixed feelings.
That's where I was coming to when I said it's not 100%. That's where you see mixed feelings. So you just don't follow. So now your brain is not transmitting he's cheating. Now because something had happened and it was wrong, now your brain is not 100% now transmitting the fact that it must be. It's now like mixed feelings. Could he? Could he not? Could he? Could he not? So as you continue to maybe try to find out if he's cheating, and then if you keep saying no, 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 it starts to reprogram the brain. One of the fastest way to actually reprogram, someone who has emotional trauma and things like that is when the person is in a good space. Just like now in therapy, when you come to therapy, yeah, and you're allowed to be vulnerable, and I say, why not? Go ahead. Do you understand what I mean? You can be vulnerable all you want, but when the person is out there, in the world or whoever they are with, when they're vulnerable, it brings pain. They're not accepted. They leave. But when you're in therapy, I say to you, talk as much as you want, be vulnerable, and I accept it. You would always want to come there, and after a while, maybe after 6 sessions, 10 sessions, yeah, it could help even reframe your brain to see that it's okay to be vulnerable, just because you're going to therapy. So you always need places. Okay, now, it's just like, I've never been loved in a way that, I want to be. And then someone starts to love you in a way you never imagined. Of course, when that starts, you think it's just it's a facade, it's not true. But over time, when you understand that person really loves you, then the brain says, okay, it's like the world is changing, what's going on here? Your brain starts to say, okay, what's happening here? And then it starts to change because of the experience that you're having. So I always advise people to always change the environment, If you want something to actually change, you need to find the places that would help you erase those, cognitive framing, those predictive processing and coding. Just like I said, find someone maybe just like you now, Franca. I had issues with. I said that to you. I had issues with friends and things like that. And it pulled me away from society and so much so. But guess what? You became my safe space, and now I'm beginning to trust again. So you see, I'm gravitating towards you all the time. Why am I doing this? Because I feel safe around you. Do you know what I mean?
But let me tell you why. It's not just because of that. You also worked on yourself.
And now I'm beginning to trust again. So
can you hear me? I don't think. Okay, yes. What do you think about?
Okay, so now I agree with the things that Jacinta said, right? But here is an illustration that I always use when I'm trying to define, baggage or releasing trauma or letting go of trauma from past relationship. Let's use an example of somebody that has lived in Ajegunle all their life. You know how Ajegunle is, right? So Ajegunle is noisy, it's rowdy, it's like, it's like the ghetto. Do you understand? Like it's where all of the noise. Now Ajegunle represents maybe toxic relationship, right? Maybe you're coming from a place where it's toxic, where they manipulated you, they've gaslighted you, they've done all of these hurtful things to you. And in Ajegunle, let's say you want to leave Ajegunle, right? Or you've been through Ajegunle. I tell people, right? In Ajegunle, let's say you want to leave Ajegunle, right? Or you've been through Ajegunle. I tell people, right? Somebody comes to you, a clean person. Let's use somewhere like nobody talks to you, like everybody is in their place. Now, Banana Island would represent somewhere like, or someone that is safe, right? Someone that treats you right, someone that gives you everything. Do you understand? Someone that is acceptable, someone that you've been looking for all your life. Now, if you immediately leave Ajegunle and immediately enter Banana Island, you would think you would doubt yourself. First of all, you would doubt oh my God, what is this? Because of you've gotten used to Ajegunle all your life. This is what you are familiar with, right? Trauma informs you, right? It tells you, oh my God, is this thing real? Oh my God, this person, this person is not manipulating me, is not doing me. Are you sure this person loves me? Because you've gotten used to Ajegunle. So what I do is that I tell people, instead of moving straight to Banana Island from Ajegunle, why not stay in somewhere like Ikeja? Now, Ikeja is like the middle place, right? Now there are some rice area in Ikeja, but Ikeja is like the middle place, right? Now in Ikeja you have the quiet, it's not so rowdy, it's not so. Do you understand? Like it's like in the middle. Now what Ikeja represents is healing, is unlearning. So in Ikeja you unlearn, right? In Ikeja you heal, because if you immediately jump from Ajegunle to Banana Island, it's going to cause chaos. You're going to be doubting yourself. And right? Because people come to therapy and they're like, this guy is a good guy, but I don't know. I just feel like, do you understand? Like, he doesn't beat me. He doesn't do me things. Do you understand? Like, because I felt like in Ajegunle, that beating was a sign of love. So before you go to Banana Island, why not stay in Ikeja? Ikeja is therapy. Ikeja is where you unlearn. You understand that, hey, Ajegunle is not, no matter what you experience at Ajegunle, it was never right for you, right? In Ikeja, you unlearn. So Ikeja represents somewhere like healing, right? Where you unlearn all of the things that do you understand? You learn that there are people out there that are going to love you. You learn that there are people like Banana Island that can give you the love that you deserve, right? It doesn't have to be toxic. It doesn't have to be tough. You can get soft and natural love before you now finally move on to Banana Island. Because if you don't stay in Ikeja to heal, unlearn, you're going to go to Banana Island and you're going to question yourself. You're going to doubt if this person loves you. You're going to want to run away. And you know that this person is good. He's a good guy. But why is it I can't just connect, right? Because you've thought that toxicity is a form of love. So, yeah.
Okay, so
I
Trente,
don't know. Yeah.
I get you. And from what you just explained, you're saying Ikeja is therapy, right? Now, so
Yes.
after if I am in Ikeja for maybe 6 months, and then that's me. So that's you intentionally saying, you know what, you don't want to be with anybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going through a process, you need to understand, you need to heal from what you have been through. That's if you even identify that you have been through something.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm now in Ikeja for 6 months, and then I moved to Banana Island, and I'm with somebody who came from Ajegule, but did not live in Ikeja.
Wait. This is wait. I wasn't expecting that because now I don't know how to process that.
Because it happens.
It does happen. It
It
does
does happen.
happen.
Do you
But I
understand?
think, right? I think because of you've unlearned in Ikeja, right?
Okay.
You know the best. You can spot the signs because you've unlearned in Ikeja, because you know what love should feel like. You know that love should not be toxic. You know how best to be treated. Just because of you stayed in Ikeja, you know what is best for you. So even when you move to Banana Island and you see somebody that is trying to look like Banana Island but is actually Ikeja, right? You know
It's
that.
actually Ajegule, not even Ikeja.
Sorry. Articulate, right? You would know that that no, because of you done the work, because you know you've reflected, you've understood that this is not what I ever deserved, right? When you move to Banana Land, you see something shady, you know, this is not it, and you can speak up for yourself and leave that relationship.
I agree with you. So that at that point, you will not be the one helping the wannabe banana Ajegule person
No,
to
my
advise
job
him
is
to
not
go
to
back.
help you heal.
No, you're going to tell him to go back to Ikeja, to move out of Banana Land, go to Ikeja, get
Exactly.
himself sorted, then he can come back to you, right?
Possibly. Well, I'm not gonna wait for him to come because I'm gonna be healed, right? And I'm gonna be exploring what I mean, there are a lot of banana islands out there. So
So
I'm not gonna be waiting for him and be
for
begging,
him,
oh, please go back
okay.
to
So
Ikeja and
you're
heal.
saying, so basically, we're saying that why whoever or the person is at Ikeja, that person is unburdening themselves and is going to Banana Island without any baggage.
Well, not without it, because the thing is that, right? the- People may never get to 100% heal from trauma. But Ikeja is also standing as self-awareness, that you know what has happened. So it's not like you're not going to, you're going to Banana Island without any baggage. But in Ikeja, you are self-aware, right? In Ikeja, you are putting in the work. People go through therapy all their lives. It's in the process. None of us is perfect. Even the people that are in Banana Island, they're not perfect, right? But we are saying that in Ikeja, I'm self-aware of what is happening. I know what I deserve, right? I'm going to learn as I go. But just the fact that you've stayed in Ikeja, right, and you've done the work, you know how best to navigate things. It's not like you are going to be 100% perfect, but you're just going to be committed to each day, giving yourself grace as you do the work, knowing that you're not perfect and you are ready to put in the work to be, to get to your ideal self.
So what you're saying is, after living in Ikeja for 6 months, you're still going to go to Banana Island with the baggage, but you're not going to inflict your pain or whatever you came with on the other person.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. So we're asking, how do we let go of the baggage? We do not even want you to come into any relationship with any kind of baggage.
So I
is that
don't think that
possible?
is, no.
So
I don't think that is.
So yes or no, yours is no. It's not possible to go into a relationship
No, you
without any
cannot be,
baggage.
you cannot be 100%
Without a
healed.
baggage.
Yes.
So it could be 40, it could be 60, it could be 20.
Exactly.
Just that you'll be better off than somebody who is going into a relationship with 80% of
Exactly.
their past. Okay.
Exactly.
So do you agree?
What I would say is,
Do you agree
that's what?
that it's not possible to go into a relationship without any baggage?
It's not possible. You must somehow,
Yeah,
somewhere,
it's not.
go in with something.
Okay.
Because like I was saying, we're talking about the brain, how it's wired. Just like you're saying, the engine of your car, you need to maybe take it out totally, and then you can still drive it. It's not possible.
Before we started, we agreed that a baggage is a bad experience.
Of course, most of the time.
So are you saying there are no people with good experiences?
No, but we just said it, that they are good experiences, but they're not termed baggage. Those things are not termed baggage. But baggage is mostly bad experiences that has then, traumatized us one way or the other, that then affects the new relationship that we're in, even if it's healthy, even if it's a safe space. It's just like you said, you know that this is an amazing relationship, I love it, but you're not tuned in a way to appreciate such love. Because like he said, coming from Ajegunle, you learn that beating is love. Do you know what I mean? And you're maybe 42 years old. Come on. Going to Ikeja, like you said, going for healing, going for therapy, just informs you, lets you know that, okay, this beating is not love.
Okay.
So it's more like self-awareness. It's more like identifying these things and naming them. So it's just like you now saying, okay, I'm now in this new relationship, yeah? I've been through therapy, or whatever healing that I've been through. And then when I'm in a relationship and I feel anxious, maybe I feel he's cheating, even if there are no signs of it, I can then say to myself, it is not real. You're not in your previous relationship. This is not what it used to be. You're in a new place. So it's more like pausing and telling yourself, holding yourself accountable and saying to yourself, this is not what it used to be. Okay. So you can then now identify these things.
That's what you were busy doing at Ikeja.
Learning how to identify all of these things that can then creep into the relationship and sabotage it.
Okay. Okay, Sajo, I agree to you. Hello, Sajo. Sajo, I greet you. Are you going to answer me? Don't we have Sajo? Sajo is here. He doesn't want to say anything.
Leave Sajo alone.
Sajo, your mic is muted.
Good evening. I know it's muted. Good evening, all.
Good evening. Good evening, Sajo.
Sajo, how are you?
I'm good. Good evening, Jessica and Chente.
Okay, so Sajo, what's your take on letting go of baggage in relationship?
I'm just coming in. I don't know the topic you guys are discussing. I just came in to support your program and to see how you are doing.
Okay, so the topic is letting go of baggage in relationships.
I'd rather wait. and hear Chinte and Jacinta speak.
He has been there since, so he has been listening. Okay, so Chente, do you agree with what Jacinta just said?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So what we're saying now is it's not possible to let go of any baggage. You're going to if you've had a bad experience,
Not any.
if you've had a bad experience, if you've already had a bad experience, it's difficult to not to go into your relationship with some level of baggage.
Of course, yes.
That's what we're saying. With some level of baggage. It might be 20%, it might be 30. If you have worked on yourself, it can go to 10. You understand? 10, 25. But you must go into that relationship with some form of baggage. That's what we're saying. So no matter how much you have worked...
So, Franca, let me ask you this question. And I want you to be sincere as a therapist that you are.
Okay.
Can you 100% heal trauma? Yes or no?
Okay, so the truth is, if I am actually very intentional, I would not, I would just be very guarded. But yes, I can. If I have told myself that it's not going to be an issue for me, because I've worked on myself. Let me tell you. So let's not make it about relationship. Let's make it about generally trauma. We go through things in all forms.
Okay.
Do you understand? We go through things in all forms of life. And I think what therapy does to you is to shift the mindset to say that.
I agree.
Yeah, what we're saying is this: when something is not my doing, why should I be? Do you understand? Somebody is mistreating me or maltreating me. I have nothing to do with that person's problem. Why am I making it my problem? I just take myself out of that box. Do you understand? So I have learned over time that you can be with someone or you can be in a space and you're not the cause of that thing. Don't put yourself into it. Yes. Initially, I was getting involved. That's why I was traumatized. But now if I take myself out of it, my darling, I'm no longer in that space. It won't bother me.
Franca, can I add this? Can
Yes.
I say this?
So even if you
need to
take yourself
understand-
out of it, the
you need to
effects...
understand- you need to understand something about the way we are wired as human beings. There's something called the subconscious mind. That you don't really have much to do with it. You don't have much. So you see yourself behaving in a way whereby you don't even know that... Let me
Jacinta,
finish.
I will not say. He asked me personally.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Jacinta, listen.
You might not know. Listen, you might not know. See, there are a lot of things that you can handle straight up, and you think that, okay, I'm good, I'm fine. But even in your reasoning, sometimes, just to think about something could be it could be a reflection of something you thought you
When
had let
it
go.
becomes a problem is when you allow it affect something.
No,
That you think
no,
no, it
I do
doesn't.
not.
It doesn't have to affect something
No,
before.
that's it. Listen. So when you have gone through something, everybody has gone through something in their life, whether you like it or not. When it becomes a problem, is when it begins to affect the things you want to do in the future.
No, I don't think that's the
So-
idea.
Yes.
No,
Franca,
it doesn't have to
here's the
affect.
thing, right?
No, it
See,
could just
but when
be.
trauma, no, listen. How you know you've been traumatized about something is what you do going forward. Yes,
Yes,
because
exactly.
yes.
No, it's
what
not
you,
just-
It's what
So
you do
I
going
want to say
forward.
this,
It's
right?
even how you think.
I
You
want
just
to
do.
say
That's
this, right?
going forward.
Yeah, but not what you just
Trauma
do.
is
You
not...
don't understand.
Trauma
is
could
not the
inform
experience.
what
So
you think.
see, so let me tell you. So typically, let's say, naturally, we say everybody is traumatized in Nigeria. That's what we say. To think that every man is a cheat. Yes?
I don't think so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't think so. But somebody else is thinking that. Why don't you think so?
Because I've done my homework, I've done all my studies.
So are you saying that because everybody's saying it, everybody has done it, it would influence the things you do? You have personally worked on yourself. You have taken yourself out of that space.
Yes.
Exactly.
But it still does not mean
that
I will not think
I want
that
to add
the person I'm
something,
with
if
is
that's
not
okay.
cheating.
I
See,
want to add
let me tell
something.
you, you would
think
think
Franca
it
wants-
if something, you would think it. You understand? When you begin to see signs, not because you are coming with it.
Yes, but sometimes those signs are
Franca,
not
can
even
I
true.
can I add something to this?
Yes?
Okay. So you're saying when you take yourself out of the experience, right? So let's say somebody is abusing you and you leave that thing, right? That means you are no more connected, so
You
it can
don't get me.
affect
You
you.
asked me. You
But
asked me a question. No, Chente, you can't say that. You asked me a question. You said you wanted me to be honest. That as a
okay.
therapist or as a counselor, am I saying that trauma, somebody will completely heal from trauma? That's what you asked me. That was the question you asked me. And now, if you now say that based on abuse, I have been abused in a previous relationship, and I have tried to work on myself. I have gone to Ikeja for therapy. Do you understand? And
I
I
like
know
this
now.
Ikeja, by the way.
Sorry?
No,
What
I
did
said
you
I
say?
He
like
likes
Ikeja.
Ikeja, by the way.
I like the
I
fact
like-
that we are
Yeah, I like
Yes.
using
So
Ikeja as
exactly, I've been
representation.
in Ikeja for 6 months. I have intentionally worked on myself. Do you understand? To know that I've identified that maybe I was a cause. I enabled certain things. Do you understand? And I've sorted it out. And I go into a relationship. Do you get my point? Because I have been intentional. For me to even get into a relationship, I've told myself I'm ready. And guess what? Let me tell you, this thing is a personal thing. You cannot use how I handle it the way somebody else will handle it. The way we will heal is different.
So here's the thing, Franca, right?
Yes.
See, so
Chente, you cannot
trauma.
use your process of healing to compare mine.
I'm not using my process. I'm just
Yes.
saying, right? I am defining this thing, right? Trauma is not the experience, right? It is what happened inside of you because of the experience.
Well, it is the same thing. We're just using
Somebody,
different words.
yes, okay. It is what happened inside of you because of the
Yes.
experience. So
Yes.
because of you were abused, at the end of the day, you kind of do not want to be with men, right? Because of you were gaslighted, you end up protecting yourself. Like if somebody wants to just talk to you, end up being defensive. Now you have gone to Ikeja to try to heal. You have been intentional. You have done this, you have done that. Fine and good. That makes you self-aware. There is no assurance, Franca, that even when you go into another relationship, that will not surface. But
Chente,
because of you are intentional, because of you have noticed that this is what my experience did to me, because of my ex gaslighted me, that is why I'm always defending myself even when my partner just wants to talk to me, because of you have identified that when it comes up, when you are in a beautiful relationship, like you are in a healthy relationship, that somebody is just trying to advise you, when you want to be defensive, because of you've known the pattern, you can now address yourself. That is what Ikeja does for you. It
no,
makes yourself.
Chente,
It's not like those experiences will not come up
I
again.
do not agree with you because, like I said, no human being is the same. How we will process things, how we will deal with things are completely different. Now, I might be going through abuse. Do you understand? And guess what? Abuse is different to each person. My level of abuse and
Very
level of
true.
threshold is completely different. Do you understand? And I can two people can be going through the same thing, and we both go to Ikeja.
Reacting differently.
And then we go
yes.
to Banana Island or be in whatever relationship we are in. I'm very cautious. I am intentional to say that, you know what, I would not be in that space anymore. I will not even be, because the truth is, a lot of these things, we enable them. If you know that you enable this thing and you stop enabling it, it will not happen to you. You're intentional. Do you understand? You know how to put yourself, how to respond, how to do certain things. Chente, trust me. Do you understand? I will not
What
feel
I'm
the same.
saying is that there is
No,
no
what
assurance
it will
that it's not
happen.
going to come up.
Chente, let me say,
That's
it's not
what I'm
about,
saying.
listen, it's not about the assurance. What you're saying is, how will I deal with it? Let me tell you, nothing is certain. But
Very
what is
true.
certain is how I would react. I don't know anything about the other person. And guess what? We're always preaching, have a conversation. That's what we always preach. Have a conversation before you go into any relationship. Make sure you trash things out. We always say that. So what are we saying? Why would I have those conversations before I go into a relationship? Why would I not just state the things that I need in my new relationship? Why wouldn't I do that? And if I see that, if I begin to see the red flags, I won't go into that relationship. That's what it is. I'm not desperate.
You know, I think
Franca.
where we're having where we're having a problem now in this discussion is the terminology that was being used.
Exactly.
When he said trauma, when he said, "Can you fully, you know, can you like trauma? Can you fully, you know, 100% leave who you are when you go to when you go for therapy or whatever wellness program you intend on going?" And where I see from what he was trying to ask, it's not about what we then do or the experiences afterwards. Not that. I see it in a way whereby it's just like now. Can you empty your brain or all your memories you have to when you're 2 years old?
Exactly.
That's what I mean.
what
That's
I'm
what he's trying to say.
saying.
Well,
No,
guess
let
what?
me finish.
Let's
No,
not
Frank,
let's not call everything
Frank,
trauma.
No, because
Frank,
you know why?
Except
In
we
Yes,
guys
parenting,
Sajo, can I hear you?
in our
Sajo, can I hear
brains.
you?
So it's not-
Sajo, so I
it's
think
more
we're
like
confusing.
rewiring.
No, I think we're confusing
Because
this therapy
our-
thing, cognitive and all that, and
No, you don't
the
get
choice
me.
of trauma
No.
is causing a lot of
Trauma
problems.
is diverse in different
Exactly.
ways, and you're mostly talking about the like what to do next, how I will behave, how I react.
His question,
more like
listen,
it.
no, his
He's
question,
saying,
he
can
gave
you
an
fully?
example. He gave an example
said,
that
"Can
if
you
you were, no,
fully?"
and he gave an example saying, it's not about a child. He said, if I was maltreated, if I was beaten in a relationship, it has nothing to do with my childhood.
No, what it is he said it as an example, but he was
And
not
I'm
totally
answering based on his example.
No, he made a statement before he made the
Sajo,
example.
sorry,
let me
Sajo,
just
yes.
quickly,
Yes,
let me
Sajo,
just
yes.
quickly drop this here.
Yeah.
First and foremost, if you follow the right regime on therapy, yes, you can fully and completely heal of trauma. Completely.
Thank you.
Secondly, it is not true that external events radically change our innate characteristics.
Thank you.
I'll break it down in the way I understand it. You see, in elementary psychology, we said that we came into this world as tabula rasa, clean slate. The society we interact with and the persons we interface with imprints what we become. Now, if we agree that the person we were before we met Mr. A, because of our experience with Mr. A, has now altered who we were before we met him, it is also logical to agree that if we meet a Mr. B can alter the damage caused by Mr. A.
Thank you.
So you see, we as humans, we hide under those post-traumatic disorder when we do not want to take responsibility for our actions.
Thank you.
There is really nothing. There's no damage. I have friends. I was in Rwanda, and I met a beautiful soul who said he was damaged by the Tutsi-Hutu war, and that over time he could not interact with human beings. But during his rehabilitation process, he realized, just one line from Marcus Aurelius, that there is nothing external that damages you. That everything that comes to you is targeted to make you a better being.
Thank you.
To face life challenges and not to destroy you. Then he started rebuilding from there. The truth, we must all admit that, okay, I don't think I have been traumatized. I have always lived life the way I saw it. Whatever came to me, I accept. And my expectations from human beings are very minimal. So it is very difficult. I won't say it's impossible. It's very difficult for me to be hurt by a human being.
Okay.
Because I do not expect so much from you.
Okay.
And whatever comes to me, I take it in and I deal with it, internalize, deal with, and I exit. If it's not useful to my growth or my development, I exit, I highlight, I go to recycle bin, and I delete again.
Exactly.
Now, if over time you have continually reserved those negatives in your subconsciousness, because I heard Jessica trying to go into esoteric discussion. If we are made of the image of God, pure and unsullied, then there's nothing external that can dent that image if we retain that being.
Okay,
Now,
so do you mind if I
if you also
bought in?
accept that, if you also accept, you say?
Do you mind if I bought in? Okay, I would
No,
like to...
can I just land so that you
Okay,
can have the flow when I'm done? Now, if you also accept that, because there are some spiritual enlightenment that says there's no wrong, there's no right. That Mr. Chinte is doing X and I'm not aligning with it does not make it wrong.
Okay.
That I'm doing this. So you will always be in a relationship with people who do not align with your thinking or your appreciation of life.
Thank you.
for me, does not mean that, XYZ happened to, I mean, what can be worse than being a child soldier whose parents were raped consistently before you? What can be worse than being a Mandela, for instance? The guy hid. What can be worse than being the daughter? Or even Whitney, who watched her little children raped because of the struggle. The truth is that there is no trauma, no matter how severe, and we really are not facing deeper trauma. We are discussing emotional relationship. I mean, come on now. Come on.
Saju, come on now. Come on, Saju.
We keep saying heartbreak, heartbreak, heartbreak. Does the heart really break? That's why I stop.
We have just 2 minutes. Cynthia, you wanted to say something?
Yes. So what I think what's happening here is this discussion is very broad, because if you look at it, when he said trauma, he meant trauma in itself, and not just emotional or this or whatever, childhood trauma in itself. So Joe, you said something about you don't expect from people. You don't expect certain things from people. Something would have gotten you there.
I don't expect so much. Not
yes,
that I expect
but that's the
to.
thing.
I expect you to greet you when I see you.
Yeah. So we're not saying that you have to live in pain or live in so much, you have to, because of the trauma that you've been through. So every day of your life, you're going to, no. We're saying that, just like you said, you don't expect so much from people. I had to get to that part, and I know why I got to that part. I don't expect so much from people. It's a coping mechanism for me. And this happened because of something. And it has helped me further in my life and how I make decisions. Now, this is what we're trying to say about trauma. Trauma doesn't have to, you don't have to live in the pain or live in the sorrow. No, it just helps, it just changes your pattern in life. And I think that's where Chinta was coming from, in the sense that you cannot 100% heal from trauma, because most of the decisions we have made today is because of our past trauma.
But are you guys telling me? I want to be sure. Chente, before you continue, Chente, please. No, Sajo, can I say something? Are we saying that every single person on earth has been traumatized?
We are not saying.
Thank you. That's all I want to be sure. That's all I want to say.
What I'm saying is that,
it is not trauma. It is not trauma that leads you to that. It is life experiences.
Yes, and some of them are traumatic.
So we always use the word trauma. No, it is not everything that is trauma.
And we just said it's not everything that is trauma.
No, because let me tell you,
we didn't say everything is trauma. No, we just said it's not everything is trauma. But some experiences are traumatic. And what I'm trying to say to you, that life experiences shapes who we are.
Do you know that you could make too many grades, too many A's, and it becomes an issue, and then you learn from reducing your A's?
True.
Yeah.
Just so that you can be balanced. So is that trauma? That is positive growth.
Until there's until I see a valid study that says that you can 100% heal from the effects of trauma.
Okay, so let's Chente, I think Chente, let me tell you what I think. Chente, you need to go and understand what trauma is. It's not trauma is not a word. No, I do not agree. No, I do not agree with your ideology. Chente, I did not agree with you. No.
You do not have your pen. You do not have your pen and your daughter while we're talking.
I don't agree. So we need to go. We don't have time. This is a heater. We should have this conversation again. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. But I do not agree with you, Chente. No.